Welcome to Showtime on this Sports Talk Show. We're just going to jump right into it today with exciting news. Yes, today's guest, hey, he is an author, he is a philanthropist, he is an activist. Also, he is a role model for his community. He's also pursuing to be a future doctor, and he has his criminal justice major. Please welcome Mr. Marwin Strong. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, one day at a time. How you doing, good man? Thank you so much for allowing me to be on here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're just going to jump right into it today. Hey, how's everything going for you, Mr. Strong, and what you got going on in the world today?
Well, first of all, everything going great. I have a movie about to come out from a book called entitled "Back from Shallow Death" about my life, things that happened back when I was young and being to spend 2 years in the hospital, man. So I'm out here just going around the world speaking in prisons, young kids, colleges, you name it, man. So we're pretty busy, boy, in this time of 2022.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, where did you get these ideas from, and how did you make them formidable into the future?
Well, what happened was it started when I was real young. I always used to go to juke joints with my mom. And we used to all, I was a class clown. I always wanted to be on stage and whatnot. But it's my late mother always told me I was going to be a motivational speaker. I talk too much. I got to get the gab. I need to use it to turn around. So she speak that to me years ago. So just to see it fruition, and now I kind of well, man, Mama spoke this right, trying to do Michael Jackson, trying to get some money. So in front of crowd, so popping, and back then, we had popping, locking, all that. So
Right.
I was always used to being around crowds and making people feel good. So now I'm in this stage right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really walking on my calling, which my prophesied to me when I was real young.
Right. So you received your call at a young age due to, being involved with your mom's force, having those particular avenues at that young age. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, growing up as a child, what were some of the ethics and codes that you learned as a young kid maturing into a young man?
Well, the environment I grew up in an environment where it was drugs and violence. It was, people dying. I never forget when I was like 9 years old. We lived in Fairfield, California, and this guy who was they was initiating him to a gang, and I literally watched the guy get shot 17 times. So what happened was when they got shot, I was up under a tire barn, because what happens back in our days, we had playgrounds that had
Mm-hmm.
tires. So I'm up under and I'm watching this whole thing unfold at a early age. So I goes and run across the street back in California. They call it a jaywalk, and I didn't care if I got a ticket or not. I was going. I wanted to go home.
Right.
So they followed me up there to my house, and my mother's, knocked on the door, say, "Hey, can your son come out and play?" Because they didn't want no witnesses what I seen, And when I
Mm-hmm.
seen it, I was like, man, I can't. So I grew up in that age where I seen a lot of violence, a lot of being a part of my environment. So nobody really actually told me I could be anything I want to be. So
Okay.
living the
Okay.
life I'm living now, and it really molded me the ways of surviving in this world that we're living in. So now I have an opportunity to go out and try to share with other young people that just because they come from a single parent home, they can still be anything they want to be.
Right. Right. Now, coming from a single parent home, how was that coming up? Was that hard for you? Rough? How was that?
We didn't even know we was poor.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, she raised 8 kids by herself. We understand the dynamics, how roach is. We understand how it is that when your hot water heater's out, and those type of things. So when we deal with that type of stuff, I never really knew I was poor. I know I used to wear my sister pants, my brother's socks, and we had to wash with dishwashing liquid, all that stuff, man. So
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't really know I was poor until I got older. Like I was really poor. Like, my mom always made us, make sure we had food, and We had a, we
The
didn't have
necessities.
I didn't grow with a silver spoon in my mouth. Yeah, but
Right.
I didn't
You was
know,
well groomed, well taken care of.
yeah, yeah,
Right. And that's just
yeah,
part of just, I guess, our parents just really having the recollection of just teaching their kids, or which is me and you, teaching us, the things that we need to survive. That's on all accords, 360. Whether it's education,
correct, correct,
whether it's religion, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's people bullying you. We always get advice on what to do, and I think that really goes a long way.
right,
But in your situation, it hits the feeder more because of the things that you're doing, not only for the community, but for people to look at you and say, well, hey, here's a man that's done this. Here's a man that not only talk about it, but he put his actions behind his words. You were also noted in, you have, you and the mayor of Muncie have also had good communication. Talk about your relationship with the mayor of Muncie.
I'm born and raised in Muncie. Back in 2000, and I'm gonna back it up a little bit because I've literally dealt with over 7 mayor or a lot of people in this community. But back in 2007,
Right.
I was Star Press Person of the Year with my Enough is Enough movement, and also fight against drugs and violence. So Barack Obama at that time, which was the president yet, he was flying to Muncie, Indiana, to Ball State University. And when he watched that, he was on the airplane. And he told me when he watched it, it was my face all over the Star Press. That's the Star Press, is the newspaper.
Right.
So and he said, I need to meet this guy. I'm like, I didn't know who Barack Obama was. Like, I know this stuff. So they literally called the headquarters at that time, Democratic headquarters. I want to meet this guy. I want him to be my greeter when he come to Muncie.
Right.
So I get a phone call from the mayor's office. Say, hey, Marwin, Barack Obama want to meet you. Now my mom like, man, who is this dude, man? Like, okay, I wear the same pants as him. Come to find out, man, I go to Ball State University. They block everything off just for me and my family.
Oh.
And so I walks up in there. Yeah, I walks up in there like, hey, how you doing, Marwin? I was like, whoa, like, this is heavy. Nice. Next thing I know, a few months later, he won the presidency. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is Barack Obama.
Intuition, so, man.
I always tell people share that story, and then I got pictures to back it up. They're like, yo, he met. So at that time, I just started. I was the first African-American Delaware County building commissioner, and the youngest. Oversaw millions and millions of dollars. To help people, live and buy houses, and this, the city started booming. So I started being recognized for these type of things, the things I'm doing, not just for the government, but also for the community, dealing with young kids, speaking to young kids, the respect they have for the community. So what happened was just September the 26th, I got surprised with something great. With my Enough is Enough movement, I go around the city and I actually, help those with drug addictions. I help young men and young ladies getting out of prison, not recidivism, help them get out of prison, finding jobs. Brought a $1 million grant called Weed and Seed grant, a 5-year, $1 million grant that Weed and Seed out the community, bring them back, help them with prevention, teaching those that get out of prison, help them with resumes and help them find jobs. I got
informative programs with analytics to help people get better jobs in better situations. Yeah. Right.
So Enough is Enough movement. The mayor came on September the 26th when we had a candlelight vigil for all those that lost their loved one for drugs and violence. Mm-hmm. And he surprised with a proclamation that on September the 26th, everybody must celebrate those that lost their loved ones of drugs and violence in our community. Whether it be a balloon release, candlelight vigil, could be a picnic, but we just try to bring families together, build those relationships, man. Try to help reduce crime in our community.
Right. I just seen something about that, and that was basically because I've seen a few people on social media, put that out there for us, on that what you were talking about as far as the day to where they're going to celebrate the lives of someone lost. And we really appreciate you bringing that to our attention. But right now, we're going to
Yeah.
take our first break. You're listening to Mr. Marvin Strong and the host here, Showtime Arnett, on the Showtime Arnett Sports Talk Show, the podcast. We'll be back right after this. Okay, I got to do that for the podcast. You see how that transition was
Yeah, yes,
smooth,
sir. Yes,
buddy?
sir.
So I'm going to hit
Yes,
save.
sir. Hey.
Uh-huh. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. As I said, yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is still recording on here, and it's still recording there. So we'll be able to edit out what we don't use. But I had to get it recorded. So we got two more segments. The first one was about 8-9 minutes, so that's good. But I want to get that Eminem one that I had, because that's the one I really wanted. Not the Mobb Deep one. Here we go. Eminem 8 Mile. It's 12 minutes. So that was going. So that was 10:30. That was good. So we'll do an ad. We'll do 3 ads. Because we're gonna do 3 different talks, and then we'll go right here. And then we'll go this one. Here we go. And welcome back to Showtime Arnett Sports Talk Show, the podcast. My guest today, a Muncie native from Indiana, a Muncie, Indiana native. His name is, hold on, I messed up. Let me do that over. Yeah, I'm not even about to go tongue-tied on that one. Just delete that one.
Yeah. Marwin Strong. Strong.
Because I be wanting to call you Dr. Marwin Strong, but I know that title right here, yeah. But I don't want to, I just want to, here we go. Man, that's a hard beat. Doom, 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 doom. Here we go. Ready? Okay, that's still going on, so I hear. Ready? And we're back live at Showtime Arnett Sports Talk Show, the podcast. I'm your host, Showtime Arnett, and my guest today from Muncie, Indiana, Mr. Marvin Strong. If you haven't seen him on a billboard, he's going to be on a movie screen near you. Now, hey, let's talk about, let's kind of go ahead and skip forward to, you're doing movies and you're doing all types of interesting things. How did you get involved with the movie films and different things of that nature?
Well, it's so crazy that you brought that up, because I always tell people the story. I would never forget. I'm gonna back up with the book first.
Okay.
When I was I was in the hospital for 2 years. We talk about it a little bit more, but every lunch break I used to go to my mom's house, and we used to watch Price is Right at 11 o'clock. I'd never forget it. And I used to lay on my mom's lap, and she just rubbed my hair, because the job that I had was stressful. So she kind of, she always spoke in my life. Again, my mother had 8 of us. She loved all us the same, but she treated us different.
Right.
And I was that kid that I did crazy stuff that people wouldn't even imagine. I just think crazy, and they'd be like, "What?" And where I come from, we don't actually think like that. My sister and brother, they smart. But me, I'm that guy, like, I go over the limb. Like, I really believe that I could jump out of an airplane and parachute without a parachute and land. That's how crazy I was.
Right.
So my mother, she said, Marvin, she said, with your story, she said, look, I think you need to write you a book. And she said, and this book needed to be called Back from the Shadows of Death, off of Psalms 23. That was one of her favorite scriptures, Psalms 23. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I hear you, Mom. And she's like, and you're gonna get your movie behind it, because you need to show the world, man, that God could teach anybody, change their life around. So it's really my mom really prophesying in my life before this even existed. So I'm really living out the life that my mother spoke in my life. Roger Price is Right. So next thing I know, she got sick. She had 2 strokes. Which would hurt me hard. I lost my mom and I lost my dad almost 4 months ago. So they was really dear to my heart. No matter what they did, I was always honored them. So when she passed away, it just like my only therapy was to do what she spoke. I wrote, just wrote a book, and next thing I know, I sold over almost 80,000 books all over the world. And in Germany, and all through Europe, and
So
all
what did
50
that
states has my books in schools
what
now.
what did that mean to you? Not to cut you off, Mr. Strong, but what did that mean to you to have your book, something that you and your mom talked about, you know, premeditated before, and now you brought it to life, in the real world? Like, how did that, when you first heard about the 80,000 copies being sold, what was your first reaction?
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
is really, I am really touching lives, man. The young people is in schools and everything. So really, it really just like, that's all I can say. Wow, my mother really spoke in my life. And I think that's very important for any young man or young lady to have children, not to speak damnation on them, but also speak what they believe in them. And you never know how I feel good when a mom or daddy say, good job, good job. That makes a kid feel good.
Yes.
Where I come from, we didn't have those type of, role models. We didn't have those people that really just say, I was always, man, you're going to be like your daddy, or, you're going to be like, and so when you start speaking in my life, I start drinking, smoking, being a player. I start doing all that because why?
Right.
Because that's all I've been spoken. So the stuff that my mama spoke to me, I'm like, man, dude, like, then my daddy came around when I was a little older. And he like, he supported me all through his life. And, when I got older. So it's just dynamics, man. And really when my mom, when she spoke to my life, I was like, wow. So to fast forward to this movie, I got a phone call. Big shout out to Blue House Films,
Big shout
DJ
out.
Henry, her husband. Big shout out, man, out of Noblesville, Indiana. They won over eight to nine independent films and film festivals. So this is gonna be their first premiere movie, and also gonna be the first movie ever in Muncie, Indiana.
Congratulations on
To
you
really
guys'
have
hard
it.
work.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations.
So they came, a guy named Mike Lee. He's from Muncie. So he's now on the staff of Blue House Films. You're like, hey, why don't you meet this guy, Marwin Strong? And I said, well, I love it. Then we have a meeting. The next thing I know, boom, we got a movie, my boy TJ, my script writer, and it's just dynamic, man. As you watch it come to fruition, and the dynamics, the behind the scenes that people don't know about, and the numbers, and doing pitches, and it's like crazy just to see how this stuff is fruition. So we are projected to have this movie come out August of 2023. I gotta have my boy, him and his significant other, red carpet with us, baby. We done bought all IMAX in Muncie, Indiana.
Oh, I'm there.
And then we're gonna go on 27 to 30 states. That's gonna be talking to HBCU schools, colleges, churches and whatnot, and then we're gonna do dialogue after that with the governor and the mayors and those type of people to try how we could reduce drugs and violence in their community.
Well, hey, I'm Showtime Arnett, and if anything that we can do on the podcast to help you guys get out there or support you guys in any way, shape, or form, we're here to support you in your endeavors and in your goals and dreams. It's always nice to hear people of your nature, your caliber, out here doing things that inspire not only others but inspires the youth all the way to adults. Your inspiration is really strong. Your faith is really strong, and here's one thing. If I were to walk up to you and I didn't know who you were, what would be one thing that you would tell me about yourself to be a recognizable person? And this isn't anything about boasting, bragging, or just talking about that. But if you ran up on a young black man like myself who needed direction or needed guidance, what would be, a 2-minute speech you would give me to get me to think about making the right choice versus the wrong choice?
Well, the first thing I would share with you is that I understand what you're facing. There's not too many things that I have not been through that I don't understand where you're coming from. Because this is one thing that we gotta understand. Like, I really can't get too much information or encouragement from a person that never been through what I've been through. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't grow up with, with the greatest food, the nicest shoes. Instead of Nikes, I had Sykes. I mean, I didn't have these type of things. So when I'm seeing a kid, it's almost like a gift that I've been blessed with, more like a discernment gift. That when I see a kid, I can see the demeanor, because body language tells everything.
Right.
I really learned about a young man within 2 minutes. I know all about him.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with the dress, the hair, all these type of things, because I know when danger seeks. I also know what I need to say to encourage them. Now, one thing I won't do, I will not tell them about what they need to do, what they should do.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them about what I'm in support of them doing, and understand, to try to hear what they got to say, so I can understand and find a ways to help them out in any way possible.
Okay.
I also tell them, depending on the subject that matter is, I'll let them know that, hey, I know, I understood, and then tell them a story how I came out. Because a lot of the time that we face things in life is really not about us. It's really to really help somebody else out with your testimony. Let them know, hey, this what happened to me. This the process I had to go through, and this how we could come out together, not just one, together. Because I got to help that young man or that young lady. I got to help them along the way. That means they may fail sometimes, but I still got to continue to pick them up, because I'm the strong man in this. I'm the one that have the wisdom to do that. Okay, you fail. Oh man, you relapse on me, bro. That's cool. Let's hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. We got this. You know what I'm saying? So instead of causing, talking bad about them, we got to encourage them, let them know how important it is. Okay, everybody make mistakes. We're human. Human error. You learned that in driver's education. What's the worst accident that happens? Is it alcohol? Is it marijuana? No, it's human error.
Exactly.
That's what yeah. So we make mistakes. Yeah,
right.
That's it.
And being accountable for yourself. You're right.
There you
right.
go.
Yes, sir.
And then I tell them about, Michael Jackson had a song out, The Man in the Mirror. He said, and he quoted, he said, I'm searching for that man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways. If you make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. So it always goes back to them,
That was good. That was good. That was good. That was from MS to SA. Marvin Strong to Showtime Arnett. And with that being said, we're going to take our second break of the show, and we'll be back right after this with your man, Marvin Strong, and your host, Showtime Arnett. We'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was 10 minutes. I'm going to put your name again. Marvin Strong. Now, I already told you this is in 22 countries. Huh?
Yeah,
I got it.
MARWIN.
Right. I said MA. I'll change it. I put MAR.
Yeah.
Rename
hey, man, my mama they call me Marvin, Marlon. I got one of them extensive names,
And see, I put the W, but it changed it to, there we go. There we go. Okay, I'll check. Okay. Run out of time. I got 10 minutes left. So this is the last end of it. So I need to go to my next one, which is Snoop. That's gonna be that's a 5-minute one. So we're gonna wrap it up on this one. Let me see. Down. Here we go. Instrumental Snoop. I gotta hear that C Murder.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I gotta hear that C Murder. Down for my. Yeah. This is 3:55. So what I'm gonna do is we'll kind of go into like what is your goal? What is your outlook for what you're doing? And then the next thing I'll ask you is, uh, any types of future goals or aspirations you're working on. Then after that, since it's going to be 4 minutes, then I'll go into, people you want to thank, social media, and then after that, then we're done. Because we only got 10 minutes, and I want to make sure I get everything in on my phone and on here. So let me go ahead and hit that. Okay, so. Okay, let me hold on, go back. Ready? And we're back at Showtime on that Sports Talk Show, the podcast with my main homeboy. Oh, I said my main homeboy. That don't even make sense. Let me delete that one. I said my main homeboy. Okay, ready? Go. And we're back at Showtime on this Sports Talk Show, the podcast with my guest today, Mr. Marwin Strong. And he's just been giving us his blessings on what he's been doing, writing books, aspirations on movies, and also other things that we're going to talk about. And Mr. Marvin Strong, what are some of your philosophies when it comes to doing movies and writing books?
Well, first of all, I always share with people that everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a story. It's about 7 billion people in the world. In the writing books, everybody's not gonna like your book. Everybody's not gonna like your movie. You got to understand that. People have different views about what you believe in, but over those 7 billion people, it's over 80 to 90% of people that really gonna love and they need to hear what you got to say. Mm-hmm. So I always come with an open mind. I always come with the people I need to touch. But I do have a target that I want to touch. I want to touch young people. I want to touch those that have nothing, those that still trying to find their way. Kind of the underdog that people that they don't understand. But then I also want to touch those that did have great things in their lives, and they can see, or they can open their minds up and say, "Hey, this whole world need to help each other." No matter where you come from, we all got different things we can learn from. So when it comes from the philosophy of the book, I just now finished a book as well with the co-author with Dr. Theresa Mosley. She's a national peace advocate. Her and the other 14 co-authors. It's called Purpose Driven Passion. Now I got another book coming out in December. Called Back from the Shadows of Death 2.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm going to tell you a little snippet. The movie that you guys see, there's going to be a continuance. Oh, so this is going to be the first movie. I can't
it's to be continued.
I'm going to give y'all a little bit. Yeah, so it's going to be so we really just trying to get it after that we try to get a series on Netflix. So it's so much stuff that I want to say, but I got I can't really say a lot. I want to tell you that.
Non-disclosure rights, you can't give that information out, or you won't be getting paid. So we want to make sure you get paid.
Right.
I'm just so glad that we really had this chance to link up. We're kind of running out of time right now on the timer, but we did get to have you on the show. This broadcast will be in 22 countries on 8 major platforms. You can listen to Showtime Arnett Monday through Friday. Anytime is your leisure time, which is your convenience. And today's guest is Mr. Marwin Strong, philanthropist, author, soon to be having his doctor's degree, and also criminal justice major. So I just had an awesome time, and I just want to go ahead and give you the mic back. I just wanted you to share some information about you and where people can find you at on social media.
Okay, you can find me on Dr Marwin Strong on my Facebook. You can find me on TikTok, acting crazy. I want to thank you so much, my brother Arnett, man, for allowing me to come out, man. And, I know we always talk, but we finally got the time, so it's a divine appointment. Also, you guys want to get my book. It's on all platforms. It's on Walmart.com. It's on Barnes & Noble's Book of Millions. It's on Ivy Tech. You just Google me. Google Marwin Strong. It come pop right up, man. So also you want to donate to the cause. I got a GoFundMe page on www.marwinstrong.com. And if you may come to your area, all around the country, look me up. I'm also national motivational speaker with Marwin Strong LLC. Look at www.marwinstrong.com. Type in there. I'll call you back like a nut, man. So thank you guys so much. Love y'all all around the world. And let's get it today, baby. Let's go.
You know what? I love your energy, man. It's like when you got two people with energy like us, it's really hard to put into words, but I'm really enthused about really what you're doing. I'm also, like I said, we're going to be networking. Hopefully, we're going to be networking for, for some future endeavors between me and yourself after you get your main work done. Don't want to really crowd you with a lot, but also that's going to be a part of what we have going on as well. Want to thank you, Mr. Marwin Strong, for your graciousness on the podcast, and really, and also a friend. Building a
Yes,
friendship with yourself as
yes,
well.
sir.
This is the first time we talked about this interview for over at least a year, but schedules, trips, and when you work for yourself like we both do, it's kind of hard to really have a free day when you kind of work for yourself every day. I'm just really thankful. Like I said, I'm proud to have you on the show. And I want to thank everybody for listening to Showtime Arnett Sports Talk Show, the podcast, 22 countries, 8 major platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and many more. Thank you, Mr. Marwin Strong, and everybody have a blessed day.
God bless. Thanks.
Okay, we got that done because we got 2 minutes left because I wanted to kind of talk. Because what I'm gonna do is, soon as I post it, I'm gonna uh I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to
Okay.
your phone. And then
Okay.
this, I don't know how when you stop the recording, I don't know where it goes.
It just stops.
Hold on, let me go because this keeps saying time remaining. Hold on, let me. It ain't. It's not letting me. Oh, here it go. So I hit stop.